Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings to the 12 tribes worldwide. And as always, I want to say, call Halor Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rahakadash. It's all praises to the Heavenly Father in the name of His only begotten Son, through the Holy Spirit. I want to give double honors and salutations to the elders and leaders of the nation of Yasharallah that push and teach this truth and sincerity. I also want to say shalom to the 1/3. That great multitude that consists of the men, women, and children that believe wholeheartedly on the scriptures and working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. I want to say shalom to you. I titled this lesson, Stay in Your Own Lane, right? Stay in your own lane. And that's being 100% content and appreciative of what the Lord created us to do, okay? Each one of us has our calling, our destiny. That's not a mistake, okay? The Lord don't make mistakes. We are not a mistake. So the Lord has a task, each and every believer, okay? We are significant in the eyes of the Lord. And our job is to walk out the instructions that the Lord called and told us to do. We have the Bible, of course, for general guidelines, but each one of us has a specific destiny and specific gifts through the Spirit that the Lord has given us. Okay, staying in our own lane includes what? Focusing on that and not someone else, not other people, not the way of the world. Okay, always meddling and mining and concerned about the next man or woman. Okay, but we have enough that's been put on our plate spiritually to what? Just focus on us and be appreciative to what the Lord has done in our life. Unlike the world, who just always, just looking and concerned somewhere else besides building their house, building their family, walking out their destiny, their path, okay, caught up with the distraction in this world and the distractions of other people, all right? Satan himself sometimes could try to get in our minds, convince us, make us feel a certain way, we inadequate, not good enough, or we lacking. Or no, we're going to see in this lesson that the Lord is 100% perfect in what he do. Okay, and us calling us into this truth, this faith, is not a mistake. Our birth in itself, our lives here, okay, we are here for exactly the moment in time that the Lord put us here. He called and equipped us with everything that we need. All right, so that's what we're looking at. Let's start it off. Let's get Psalms 139 and 13. For thou hast possessed my reins. Thou hast covered me in thy mother's womb. I will praise thee. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and my soul know it right well. All right, so that's saying a whole lot. First off, what? Verse 13 lets us know what? The Lord already knew us before we were conceived. The moment we were conceived in our mother's womb, what? That show you the Lord already sent each and every one of our spirits. Okay, that spirit sent from the heaven. Hey, you're going to go right here, this womb, okay, in the form of this sperms fertilizing this egg for the outcome, this particular individual. Each and every one of us went through that process. So it's showing you the Lord already knew us and had a perfect plan for us before we got here. Then verse 14 again, it says, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Okay? The Lord made us fearfully and wonderfully, showing you don't make mistakes. Let's get Genesis 1:26. Let's look at 27. It says, so Yahweh created man in his own image. Okay? That's in holiness and righteousness. In the image of Yahweh created he him. Male and female created he them. All right? Let's get Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, said the Lord, the thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Okay, that's a purpose, that's a plan, that's a destiny that the Lord has set out and one for good. Okay, he said to give you an expected end. That's the hope of salvation. All right. Let's look at Jeremiah 1:4. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. See that? And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So every elect, okay, every individual that the Lord foreknew and elect to come into this faith, okay, this show you the perfect plan for the Lord. Not just Jeremiah, but this goes for every ordained elect individual. He said, I knew you before your mother's womb, meaning from the foundation of the earth, the Lord had already chose us. Ephesians 1:4. According as he had chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. See that? That we should be holy, without blame before him in love, having predestinated us into the adoption of children by Yahushua Mashiach himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. See, over and over, we're seeing the elect, the Lord foreknew. He already predestined, he already ordained us. Let's look at Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for the good to them that love Yahweh, to them who are called according to his purpose. See that? For who he did foreknew, he also did predestinate to be conformed into the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, who he did predestinate, them he also called. And to whom he called, them he also justified. And to whom he justified, them he also glorified. All right. Real quick, words, the meaning, etymology, the meaning of words are very important. So let's take a moment and let's look at this predestinate. So we go into Romans 8. And we're going to look at this word predestinate. Predestinate, to predetermine, decide beforehand. And the New Testament, Yahweh decreeing from eternity to foreordain, appoint beforehand. Okay, so it was already determined before we were even born. The Lord said, hey, these I want for myself, keep these. Okay, remember, he's the author and finisher of our faith. These, I got their life planned out. I got everything written out. They are not a mistake. This is exactly what I called them, created him, put them on this earth to do. They have a mission to complete. All right. All right. We get one or two more of these. Let's get, let's say another place. Let's go to Matthew 10:29. We just want to build this foundation first to show you that the Lord's plan is perfect. Each and every one of us has our own calling, our own lane, our own destiny to fulfill. All right. So this is Matthew 10:29. Are not two sparrows sold for a farthing? A sparrow is a very small bird. And one of them shall not fall to the ground without your Father, meaning the Heavenly Father controls everything. Every single thing that happens in life, understand there is no coincidences. The Heavenly Father controls everything. 30, it says, but the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Now, understand what this is saying. The very hairs of your head are all numbered. That's going into great detail. That's meticulous. That's specific. Do you know how specific you got to be? Every single strand of hair on your head, okay, is numbered. The Lord counted every single one of them. So that's showing every detail of your life. The Lord is concerned. He know about, and he already knows the beginning from the end. All right. 31. Fear ye not, therefore, are ye not more valuable than many sparrows? So if the Lord can be that detailed with a sparrow, a little small insignificant bird, how much more valuable are we? How much more detail is the Lord going to put in and care about us as his greatest creation? All right. So now that we established that foundation, just to show you clearly, okay, Lord don't make mistakes. We not a mistake. Each and every one of us, we hear, for a specific reason that the Lord, whatever the Spirit determined that he would give us for gifts to complete our mission, our destiny, that's what he equipped us with. So the reason this is so important to understand, because we live in a world full of distractions. We live in a world where everybody is competing. Everybody want to be one up on or comparing themselves to someone else. You're comparing yourself to the next man, whether it be physical, mentally, okay, height, stature, abilities, talent, physical appearance, in each and every way. Okay, we live in a world that's constantly bombarded, even with the media. Okay, it is constantly trying to push the spirit of covetousness on us. Okay, and we're going to see what that leads to. I'm going to talk about it a little later. When you allow this spirit to come on you to get you to where you're not content and satisfied, or you don't understand the calling that the Lord put up on your life, by default, you automatically start looking at other people, or looking to other people, or comparing yourself to other people. Okay, but the Bible tells us, it gives us the remedy not to do that. Okay, we're supposed to be 100% focused and fixed on our abilities that the Lord gave us. All right, so this is Galatians 6:4. Let every man prove his own work, and then he shall have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. Now, what is that saying? His own work is the talent. That's what the Lord, that's the gifts that the Spirit is giving you. Focus on your destiny, your life. Okay, and then what? You'll be fulfilled in the work, your work for the Lord. Your talents that he gave you to do, that'll be enough fulfilling in itself. You won't have time to sit up, be idle, and focus and worry about other people's gifts, talents, or their business. All right. This is Exodus 20 and 17. It says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Now, what is covetous? Covetousness is basically, it's a strong lust or desire for something. Okay, specifically when it's something that your brother has, something that someone else has. Okay, that's what makes it even worse. But ultimately, it's just a longing. It's a strong desire to have something. In other words, you're never content. You're never satisfied, thankful, just blessed. You can never truly thank the Lord and focus on what he's blessed you with, what he's given you, because it's a constant lust, a need for more, something else. All right, let's get it in the blue letter. And we're looking at covet. See, it says to desire, covet, take pleasure and delight, to desire, to be desirable, to delight greatly, desire. Let's see. All right. So we go back and read it. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, nor covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his maidservant, manservant, his ox, his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's. Now, how does that translate today? Okay, you're not supposed to desire anything else that belongs to your brother. Everything you see in the world today, that the world do, that 2/3 of our people do, constantly jealous, envy. This covetous breeds the spirit of jealousy and envy. Okay, you want this man, woman, you want his house, you want a car, his car, what he got. Okay, we're going to see the same things with spiritual gifts as well. Okay, you got some people do that. They're talent. See, you want what the next man got. There's nothing wrong with being inspired or being influenced by someone else, or even being motivated, just generally motivated. Hey, this person has good characteristics or good positive traits that I would like to have. So I'm going to use this person as an inspiration, or do what I need to do to practice myself to try to develop certain traits for myself. But I'm not going to covet what this person got, because if so, we're about to see that turns into a whole nother spirit. That's why that spirit of Satan comes in there. Now, that's the birth of jealousy, envy, and greed. All right. This is 2 Corinthians 10 and 12. It says, we dare not make mention of ourselves of number to compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they measure themselves by themselves, and comparing themselves among themselves, we are not wise. Okay, let me read this in the NLT. What's that? 2 Corinthians 10:12. Okay, I'm reading the New Living Translation. This is to the right-hand side. Verse 12, it says, oh, don't worry. We wouldn't dare say that we are as wonderful as these other men who tell you how important they are. But they are only comparing themselves with each other, using themselves as the standard of measurement. How ignorant. See that? So Paul is basically going into something that a lot of people do. They use someone else to be the standard or that measurement for in whatever reason, okay, whether it's what they perceive to be perfection or greatness in any area of life. Okay, they'll look at another man's walk and they compare themselves to that man. Okay, so he's saying that's not wise. Don't do that. He said, don't worry, you don't have to worry about us doing that. So he's pointing out the fact that this is what a lot of people do and go wrong. Look at somebody else's life or what they got going or where they at a certain point in their life, and you go comparing like a mirror. You look at you and, oh, I should be doing it. This person did this. They got that. Their husband, their wife did. No, never do that. Okay, their career, their finances. Okay, the Bible lets you know, do not do that. Right? Let's look at, what's the name? Let's go to Philippians, okay? Because people do it, like we say, it's in every area aspect of life, okay? Even in the ministry, Paul spoke on it, okay? You got some who, he talk about even teach out of envy and strife. So let's go to Philippians 1 and 15. It says, some indeed preach Yahushua even of envy and strife, and some also of goodwill. The one preacheth Yahushua of contention, not of sincerity, supposed to add affliction to my bonds, but the other of love, knowing that I am sent for the defense of the gospel. Okay, so you got people who even take that spirit into the ministry. Only reason they get involved to try to compete with someone else or envy. Okay, whether it's that not truly called from the Lord to do that, but it's showing you for the wrong motives. Okay, it says some indeed 15 again, some indeed preach Yahushua of envy and strife, some also of goodwill. All right, so this spirit comes in every area aspect of life. You got some people so bad they can't rest unless they mimic or copy everything you do or accomplish in life. Okay. You get a black pickup truck, they got to get a black pickup truck. All right, you get a job, whatever, post office, they got to try to get a job at a post office. Just showing you this is a spirit, the demonic spirit that unfortunately, okay, a lot of so-called black people really got this bad. Okay, that's why you hear the term in the world, crab in the barrel mentality. Okay, as soon as your brother, whatever, start reaching the top, they just pull them back down. Come back down with the rest of us. See? Let's look at Romans 12:3. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as Yahweh had dwelt to every man the measure of faith. See that? Each and every one of us, the Lord gave a certain measure of faith. And we about to see what entails or what goes along with that faith. That's part of your call and your gifts. Okay, the Lord equipped each one of us with talents to accomplish the thing that we need, what he put us here to do. And that's not up to us to decide, get upset, not be content, or compare to what he's given the next man. All right, look at 4. For we are many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. So we being many are one body in Yahushua, and every one members one of another, having then gifts different according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. Okay, now just like your physical body consists of many members, your arm, your legs, your fingers, toes, head. Okay, well, in the spirit, this is showing you we all have different offices. The body consists of all the believers through the spirit. They have different components, okay? We about to see some may be prophecy, some teaching, some exhortation, some healing, but it's all part of the same body. In order for it to be successful, just like your physical body, all components must function or work together. You're not going to have one organ that's working to get, your kidneys are going to work together to accomplish what they do for your lungs, okay? You do have a body part that's going against the other. What does that tell you? It's malfunctioning. Something is wrong with you physically. Okay. One leg is not going to be walking in the opposite direction. Your right leg moving forward, your left leg should follow right behind it. Not something seriously wrong. You got two legs and both of them walking in different directions. Okay. We're just going into this as us making up members of the body. Each one of us got different things that the Lord has given us, talents through the spirit, but we all work together, should be functioning as one. Okay, look at verse 6 again. It says, having then gifts different according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. Proportion of faith is important. Let us prophesy according to that proportion, showing you some of us were given different measures of the spirit. Okay, stick to what the Lord has given you. No matter how great or small you believe it is, you be faithful to that, is what it's saying. If your understanding is at a certain level, let's just say it's a C- type of understanding. Okay, you're somewhat limited, you're still learning. Stay at that level. Don't be trying to go into the meat of the scriptures or talk about things that's above your spiritual pay grade. Okay, there's a penalty for that. Stick to that whatever level that the Lord is giving you for that time. Okay, you can always increase, but that's when the Spirit decides to increase you. See, let me get a quick precept. 1 Peter 4:14. For if you be reproached for the name of a Mashiach, happy are you, for the spirit of the glory of Yahweh rested upon you. And on their part, evil is spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified. Hold on, that ain't what I want. Hold on, somewhere up in here. Verse 11 is what I want. So 1 Peter 4:11, it says, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Yahweh. And if any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Yahweh give it. See, if you're going to minister, teach, you stick to the ability that the Lord is giving you. Don't try to go above, beyond, and go into something that you truly don't understand, is what it's saying. All right, so we go back to, where was we at? Romans. Romans 12:6. I'm in the middle of verse 6 when it says, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. That's being content with the level that the Lord has given you for that time. All right. It says verse 7, or ministry, let us wait on our ministry, or he that teacheth on teaching, or exhortation on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence. He that showeth mercy with cheerfulness. All right. Another precept. Let's go over here to 1 Corinthians 12:1. All right. I'm going to read the first verse just to show you what this is all going into spiritual gifts for the body. It says, now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. Okay, so we're dealing with spiritual gifts. Let's look at verse 4. For there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are different administrations, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God which worketh in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. For to one is given the Spirit of the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the workings of miracles, to another prophecy, to another to another discerning of spirits, to another diverse kinds of tongues, to another interpretations of tongues. But all these work it that one and the self same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. So it's up to the Spirit. This is all talking about different gifts of the Spirit that the Spirit has given to each and every one of us. All right. So the ultimate, I'm going to read down a little more, but the ultimate point is showing you we all made up different according to the Spirit. So understand how to work together rather than what? Envying your brother or sister, letting the spirit, that comparing, that covetous spirit, see, on what somebody else got. Let's build up and increase what the Lord has given you. Look at 13. It says, for by one Spirit we're all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be born or free, and have been all made to drink to one Spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I'm not a hand, I'm not the body, it is therefore not of the body. And if the ear shall say, because I am not of the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were eye, where would the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where would the smelling? See, so the Lord has some for each and every one of us. This is showing you the significance. Okay, finding out what the Lord is called, what you good at, the Lord has called you to, your gifts, your talent, and be content with that. All right. What it's showing, just like the whole body, all members, say your whole body just consists of one organ. OK, like he said, if the whole body was the ear. OK, what would be the point? Where's the sight? Same thing. Everything was just the sight. Where's the hearing? See, so we need everything. But when you finally grow, you mature and understand this in the Spirit, this keeps you from what? Covetousness, keeps you from jealousy, envy, because what? You too busy focusing, growing in your spirit, your abilities, your talents, what the Lord has given you. See? And this applies just even in the world. Okay. I know the world don't, they don't really, they ain't pursuing the Spirit and spiritual things like we are. But if people just focus on their own, what they got going, okay, build a household, focus on your wife, your kids, your career. Okay, they wouldn't have time to be worried or that just always melting and messing and what this person got going, what they're doing. Okay, so we're showing you this is all the root of it. It goes back to being thankful and grateful, finding out what the Lord has given us and walking in that. See, let me read down a little more. Verse 19. And if they were all one member, where were the body? But now they are many members, yet one body. See that? And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor can the head say to the feet, I have no need of you. See? So we understand this is how we should look at each other, specifically in this faith. Okay, I'm gonna kind of lead the world gonna be the world. But as Israelites, okay, this is how you keep that spirit. Okay, covetousness, envy, jealousy. Okay, that's how you keep that off of you. Okay, you be grateful what the Lord gave. When you recognize talent in your brother, your sister, you be grateful. You find out how to work it together. That's how you build a super team, from a family to a business. This is the cheat code. See, the scriptures give you the cheat code to life, to success. Any type of success. Well, I keep saying, well, you can apply this to anything in the world. See, Negroes can't work together. See, Israelites supposed to have this wisdom. So, well, hey, I ain't got to hate on you, brother. I appreciate it. In fact, I'm going to help you increase with your gift. I'm going to show you where you good at. Because what? We come together, that's going to benefit both of us. See, Even the other nations got that much sense. They know how to work together to a certain degree. Hey, I'm gonna instead of hating on you, hey, let's come together. You good at, I'm good at this. We put this together. We got everything we need right here in house. See, if we just learn to appreciate one another's gifts, our talents. See, our people don't do that though. We're so busy competing, comparing, and trying to one up. See, let's go to let's get 1 Thessalonians 4:11. Because this is how in general we should be conducting our lives. It says, and that ye study to be quiet and to do your own business, meaning mind your own business, and to work with your own hands as we command you. So notice it said study to be quiet. It's something we got to learn to do. Okay, just focus on you, your situation, what the Lord gave you, how you could better your situation. Okay, I'm gonna revert. I'm gonna just mention because it just like what you see in the world. Okay, you look at the most, if you really pay attention to who usually the most messiest gossip type people, those usually people that don't have no business going for themselves. People that's usually always dabbling, worried about what somebody else got going in their house, they marriage, really because they're miserable or unmarried. Okay, so on and so forth. Somebody who's always hating this person, what they got, they bit, what they doing, this or that, that's because they not doing anything. Okay. People that's really busy and occupied and got real business and things in their life, you don't have time. Trust me, you do not have time to be worrying about what somebody else got going and what they doing. Okay, the latest tea and gossip and all that. You don't have time because you too busy working on what you got or trying to perfect or grow or build, make yours better. All right. So let's see. Let's get Sirach and Apocrypha. Sirach 11 and 9. Strive not in a matter that concerneth thee not, nor sit not in judgment with sinners. My son, meddle not with many matters. Meddle not with many matters going into what? Stuff that does not concern you. Business, situations, other people's affairs. For if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain. Neither shalt thou escape by fleeing. Okay, always consequences going to eventually come when you live a life like that. Always meddling, dealing in other people's matters. Proverbs 26:17. It says, he that passeth by and meddleth with strife belongeth not to him. It's like one that taketh a dog by the ears. So the person who's in other people's business, in matters that don't concern with you, is equivalent. It's like passing by, you grabbing a stray dog by the ears. What you think is going to happen? What that dog's going to do to you? Okay, you're going to get bit. You're going to get attacked. Okay, same concept in life. You go poking your nose and all you worry about somebody else's business and affairs, or injecting yourself in it. Okay, you gonna end up being a victim eventually. All right. Bible just, as you can see, the Bible just a book full of wisdom. Okay, nothing but wisdom that it will behoove us to apply it. Let's see. Let's get Isaiah 45 and 9. Because anytime we're not content with what the Creator, who he called us, what he made us to be, the talents he given us, okay, what you're basically doing, that's like a slap in the Lord's face. Okay, you telling the Lord he didn't know what he's doing. You should have made me different or better. You could have given, you ain't make me like this person. Why you ain't give me what you gave this person? All right, that's like a slap in the Lord's face. So Isaiah 45 and 9. Woe unto him that striveth with his maker. The maker is the Most High. Let the poster strive with the worshippers of the earth. Shall the clay say to him that fashioned it, what makest thou? Or why work? Or had no hands? So you question the Lord. You're not satisfied with your life. So you asking the Lord, why you didn't do this? Or why you didn't do that? Matter of fact, let's look at this in the NLT. Let's see. Isaiah 45. Okay. This is Isaiah 45 and 9. I'm reading from the New Living Translation to the right-hand side. It says, what sorrow awaits those who argue with their creator? Does the clay pot argue with its maker? Does the clay dispute with one who shapes it, saying, stop, you're doing it wrong? Does the pot exclaim, how clumsy can you be? How terrible would it be if a newborn baby said to its father, why was I born? Or if it said to its mother, why did you make me this way? See that? That's what we do to the Heavenly Father every time you're not content with your ability, what the Lord gave you, who he called you to be, who he created you to be. You basically like the clay pot that's saying to the potter, what are you doing? Ugh, you couldn't make me look no better than it. Why I gotta be so short? I couldn't be my nose, my mouth, I couldn't be smarter. You couldn't give me a spiritual gift like that. I couldn't. That's what you're doing. Or like a baby that, like we just read, a baby saying to his father, you just looking at his arms and legs coming out. Oh, you didn't really jack me up. Look at really? This the best you could have came up? That's what you're doing with the Lord. Okay, every time we're ungrateful or not content with who he called, what he's given us. Every time you comparing yourself to the next person, you competing with your brother and sister. You always looking at comparing, poking your nose, trying to be like somebody. That's bait in the spirit. That's what you saying to the Lord. You messed me up. What was you doing? You don't know what you doing. Okay. Another precept, Isaiah 64:8. But now, O Lord, thou art our Father. We are the clay, thou art the potter, and we are the work of thy hand. See, the Lord is in charge. The potter is the one who forms the clay. He knows exactly what I want out of this lump of clay. We just a lump of clay. Out of this lump of clay, I'm going to create this chair. I'm going to create this grand vase. Okay. Or you know what? I'm going to create a trash can. I'm going to create a toilet bowl. It's all up to the potter. Okay. We really don't get a say in the matter. We just grateful. Whatever the Lord be the best, just like the wicked. Okay, the Lord said what he created the righteous and the wicked. Okay, the devil does a great job, by the way, being the devil. Okay, you look at all the murder, pollution, things that goes on in this earth. Esau he do his job to the T. All right, if anything, it's like the righteous Israel. Okay, the Lord called his people to be the chosen priests of this earth who rebel against their maker. Oh, that ain't who we are. We are no, you ain't better than nobody. See, the devil do a great job being the devil. It's Israel who rebelled, if anything. Matter of fact, a couple precepts, Proverbs 16:4. It says, the Lord had made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. See, well, there's the good, the righteous, or the wicked. Okay, we don't have a say in the matter. Romans 9:20. Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against God? See that? Shall a thing formed say to him that formed it, Why hast thou made me thus? Had not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel into honor, that's the righteous, and another into dishonor, that's the wicked? Okay, even going into Jacob and Esau. See, instead of question, they just fulfilling their lot to the T. Okay. Let's see. Let me get a few, what I wanted to do, transition a little bit to show the spirit that comes with that. Now, like I said earlier, I mentioned earlier, whenever we're not content, we're not grateful, whenever we're not focusing and seeking our gifts and just concentrating on what the Lord called us to do, we start coveting, okay, which we know coveting is a sin. The cousin to coveting is envy and jealousy. All right. And that those are the spirits that come in. This is what you see the world. The world don't understand this. So what the world is given over to covetousness, jealousy, hatred, and envy. All right. This is Proverbs 27:4. It says, wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous. But who can stand before envy? See, wrath is cruel, anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? See, envy is horrible. Envy is that spirit that you have. Envy will have you thinking somebody is your friend. The person that's pretending to be your friend or close to you, a family member, and hating your guts the whole time. Envy smiles in your face and stabs you in the back at the same time. Okay, that's what makes envy so bad. Envy ain't like sometimes you see people a mile away. It's just how I know this person don't like me. Or they told me straight up they hate my guts. But envy, envy tries to, what's the word I'm looking for? Finesse you. Smile in your face, get close, say all the right things, but all the whole time is hatred, envy in their heart. Envy wants to be you. All right. But this is the spirit that comes up on. It could come on all of us. OK, if you don't know who the Lord called or created you to be and what he gave you to do. OK, it's a matter of time and envy. All right. Proverbs 14:30. A sound heart is the life of flesh, but envy the rottenness of bones. See that? Envy is it destroys you from the inside out. Okay, you cut your time short and everything. It kills you from within. It's like a slow death to be a hateful, envious person. See, let me get a precept or something in the pocket for Sirach 30:22. It say the gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So a good spirit, a joyful good spirit, the opposite of envy, gives you a longer life. 23, it says, love thy own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow from thee, for sorrow had killed many, and there is no profit therein. Look at verse 24. Now it says, envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before time. See? So envy and wrath, somebody who's always jealous, angry, hating, you taking years off your life and don't even know it. And then carefulness, worry, stress, it says bring it age before time. See, you see these people that just, some people you see it on their countenance. You have some that can hide it, cover it up, but some people so hateful and envious, it just changed their countenance. Now they walking around with it. It's like a tattoo, frown, bags all under their eye, looking old. It's rotting their bones from within. See, it's a spiritual thing. See, especially as they age, begin to get older. People like this usually don't live too long. All right, that envy eats them away. What's another one? Proverbs 27:13. Let's get there. 13, I think it's 23, Proverbs 27. Is it 23? One moment, it's another one. I'm trying to think of two. Maybe it's 17:23. Oh, it ain't that. Okay, but let me get this precept. This is Proverbs 18:16. And this just goes into what? Our gifts. Whatever the Lord called you, what he gave you, you got to understand that's going to be your cheat code to life. Part of your success in this life is all tied to your destiny. Your destiny is tied to the ability that the Lord gave you. When you focus on anything else or anybody else, that's what's wrong with the world. That's why you get the spirit of idolatry and covetousness. Everybody looking at what another man got, or the gifts or talents. And ooh. Like I say, nothing wrong with admiring another individual or taking what positive traits. Okay, this person does this good. I would like to apply it. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, but when you focus too much on just, your eyes is locked on this person so much or these people till you can't appreciate to what the Lord gave you. All right, so this is Proverbs 18:16. It says, a man's gift make it room for him and bring it him before great men. Now notice it says a man's gift make it room for him. So your gift is your talent. That's the thing that the Lord gave you. That's what's going to make room for you in this life. Because like I just said, that's what your destiny is going to be directly linked to. Okay? I'm wasting my time. I don't care how hard I practice. I could practice from sun up to sun night in a basketball gym. Okay? I'm not going to be Michael Jordan. Okay? It ain't happening. That's not my lot. That's not my destiny. So on and so forth. I don't care how much I admire this brother over here that got, he might have all the PhDs when it comes to, whatever, technology, building computers from the ground up. I can admire that. But if I start feeling bad about me because I'm looking at what he got, I don't care how hard I try to mimic and act like this brother, go to school and build, I'm not going to be him. Okay? That's what was given to him. Okay? The Lord gave me my ability, my tell. You teach my word. You do that to the best of your ability. Okay? In the process of doing that, just like we read Galatians 6:4. Okay? You be focused on you. That's your contentment. That's your fulfilling because you walking out your lot, your plan. That's the only time you ever be fulfilled in life. Okay? Not like the world. Constantly as well, you can never have peace. See? It says a man give making room for him and bring it him before great men. That's what's going to open the door for you. Certainly, wherever you're supposed to be in life, you can't miss it as long as you walking out your day. You staying in your lane. See? Can you picture that? That's just like, picture you driving on the freeway, 70, 80 miles an hour on the freeway. The car next to you, this nigga going 100 miles an hour, but his face just fixed on you. Like, damn, ain't you looking at the road just fixed on you the whole time? Okay, what's going to happen? He running, crashing, all type of stuff. Well, people do that every day in the spirit. See? They can't progress, get nowhere, accomplish nothing in their own life because what? Your eyes fixed on this person. All your energy, all your time. It ain't got to be somebody it could just be social media. You got some people so addicted, hooked, okay? They go scroll Instagram. They see this post. Now they feeling like crap. Somebody else going on in their marriage, their relationship, their vacation. I ain't been on vacation. I can't afford to go. See? That's the way the devil set this system up. The solution for that is what we're reading. You got to stay in the spirit, these scriptures, and pray, seek the Lord, find out where you fit in. See? That's staying in your own lane. Accomplish walking out to the best of your ability what the Lord is giving you. Philippians 2:12. Wherefore, my beloved, as you've always obeyed, not in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. See that? We each excuse me, we each have to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. That's focusing on what the Lord has gave us to do. See? And let me get one or two more examples, and I'm getting ready to close this out. What's that? David and Saul. 1 Samuel 18:6. And it came to pass, as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing, to meet King Saul, with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, They have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and unto me they have subscribed but 1,000s. And what can he have more but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day forward. Okay, that's the spirit of envy that came up on Saul. Now, they were on the same team. They both just defeated the Philistines. But instead of being grateful or thankful that the Lord gave him victory over his thousands, he's hearing the women celebrate David. They celebrating his brother. Saul killed thousands, David his 10,000s. Because David did a little more than him, what? Now his that's that spirit, jealousy, hate. Now he hated David from that point, that very point on. See? And people do that every day in life. Don't let them find out a Negro what they perceive to be doing a little bit better than them. Okay? Hatred. Gotta be done personal. Let them find, he make a little bit more money on his job than you. Hatred, envy. Okay, well, they take a few little bit more trips than what we, hatred, envy. Every area aspect of life. See? But that comes from what? Comparing once again. See? Saul couldn't just be, he would have just stayed in his own lane, been grateful. He would have saw it for what it is. Hey, we're a superpower now. I was already dominating. I was already a great king. Okay, now David, the Lord didn't feel great. He done brought this other young man, and he doing this 2 times or better than me. Hey, we come together. We're a superpower. Okay, you see it in sports sometimes. Okay, you get 2 players, both superstars. They can't, hey, man, just stay on swallow your pride, work together. Nobody will beat y'all. But one always got he getting a little more shine than me. I want to win. They go break up a super team just to go somewhere else. Now you suck, can't win the game. If you would have just stayed, with his brother, they've been undefeated. Nobody can beat him. See, life work like that. Unfortunately, this world, you got married couples compete like that. Okay, woman competing with her on her. She try, I can make more money, do this. No, you build, grow together. Okay, even as a nation. Once again, other nations understand this. You Negroes, oh no. See, imagine if we that put all those resources, that talent together. Most talented people on earth. Okay, imagine if we came together. Okay, the Lord is gonna do it in the end. Okay, we know that Lord is going to bring the tribes together, but it's just showing you, okay, this is why we can't accomplish or get nowhere. Let me get another example. This is going into Cain and Abel. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground and offered it to the Lord. And Abel, he also brought the firstlings of the flock of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and unto his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. So the Lord had accepted Abel's offering. Okay, he offered what the Lord required. He rejected Cain's. Right there, hatred, envy. Verse 6, and the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance falling? If thou do as well, thou shalt not be. If thou do as well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lying at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and shall rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass that when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. See, same thing over and over. You every example you read throughout the Bible, even in life, while some type of spirit of jealousy, envy, or hatred came into the picture, that's what it was about. Okay. Comparing or you accepted this or he did this better than me. That's how it always started. All right. I could give one more example before we go. What's the one with Joseph and his brothers? See, Genesis 37. It's Genesis 37:17. And the man said, they are departed hence. So this is Joseph looking for his brothers. His father sent him, hey, go get your brothers. And the man said, they are departed hence. For I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. Okay, so they're jealous of Joseph for the same reason. His gifts, his talents. Remember, the Lord gave him the ability as a prophet, dreamer of dreams. Verse 19, and they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say that some evil beast had devoured him. And we shall see what will become of his dreams. See? So on, so forth, like I said. Okay, but it's all showing you that spirit always is rooted and not being grateful, content on the ability that the Lord gave us and comparing ourselves to others. All right, so I'm going to close it out there. Remember, let's stay in our own lane with this. I pray this lesson was edifying. Until the next time, Shalom, we are.